Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back into the TnT podcast. I'm your host Ted.
And I'm Ted.
That was smooth.
I did that on purpose.
Oh,
Keep
you
going.
did? Oh, okay. I didn't even know you did that. But anyway, today we got a really interesting episode, and it was actually based off of what happened to us last night. And a very weird thing happened to us last night, as we went to this road which is a very known road to be haunted. Is known
You
as
can say it.
known as Clinton Road. If anyone has ever been on that road or heard about it, there are many stories about that road. That
Big scary.
Yeah, big scary.
Big scary.
Yes, and would you like to tell everybody about what happened to us last night?
Well, yeah. So obviously, by the title of the episode, you could tell we'll be talking about ghosties. So yeah, last night I recently bought a lightsaber, a rather expensive one. So we're like, oh, cool. Let's go somewhere dark and take pictures. It'll be cool. Then my dumbass says, oh, let's go Clinton Road. That'll be great. That'll be a great idea. So we drive up the road, listen to music, whatever. We find a spot. We're taking pictures. Taking pictures. Don't matter. Then all of a sudden, me and Lauren, we were like clashing the lightsabers. That's what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard like what sounded like whispering coming from the woods. We didn't. Then we stopped and we're listening, but then a car drove by. So like, oh, it's just the car. So we continue on. Nothing. We kept hearing like stuff in the woods, but
There's like some sort of movement, but we didn't know if it was like an animal or something.
say it's a forest, so there's animals. You don't know how wind can be on the trees, something like that. But
Right.
a little while later, we started hearing that whispering again. At least me and Lauren heard it. You said you only heard it for a few seconds.
Yeah. So what happened was I got out of your car because I was in there trying to like get like warm or whatever, and I get out of the car, and right as I got out of the car, I heard these like whispering, like two people whispering to each other, like saying stuff back and forth to each other in the woods. I don't know which direction. I don't know if it was in front of us or to the side, but I heard it for about 10 seconds.
Looked like it was sounded like it was towards the woods.
Yeah.
Where we were.
Yeah. So it was just freaky because I was trying to focus in on what the voices were saying, and they stopped, and I couldn't hear it anymore. And I told these guys, I'm like, guys, I just heard voices in the woods. So like,
You didn't say it till we were in the car.
oh, I didn't.
No.
Oh no, you know what happened was I think I said it, but you guys didn't hear me say it.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, because I think you guys were still taking pictures. You guys were here. You guys were like to the side of me. You guys were like a couple feet away from me. I was right next to the door, and I guess I must have said it under my breath, but yeah, it was just really strange.
I heard it for probably like 2 minutes. It sounded like people whispering. They said, could easily be the wind, could easily be who knows, but
Yeah.
sounded like whispering.
Yeah, I mean when I got out of the car, there was there was no wind. Like I just heard flat out like a weird conversation between these two. I couldn't tell what they were saying, but like when I was trying to focus in on what they were saying, they stopped. So, and
And I go, Ted's like, oh, I couldn't understand. I'm like, what were they speaking another language? He goes, no, they're speaking English. I'm like, Ted, you said you couldn't understand them. How do you know what language they're
I
speaking?
don't know. I mean, I just heard them talking.
No, man, they're speaking English.
I don't know. But next thing we were doing a remake of this one TikTok with the lightsabers.
All women are queens.
If she breathes, she's a thought.
That Vine. Not Vine, wow.
Oh,
I
TikTok,
wish Vine.
TikTok. Yeah. So we were trying to create it, but then all of a sudden we made the video, but right as we first started, there was little movement in the woods to your left, my right.
Again, could be an animal.
Couldn't be an animal, but
Not
you
saying
never.
it's a demon, but
Yeah, you never know. You never know. And we heard this crunch.
We got this part on video.
Yeah.
And I see Ted jump. I'm like, Ted, just do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to get out of here, do the video so we can leave.
Yeah, and like the first few seconds of the video, my head, I turned my head so quick because I thought I heard
you
something.
you like jumped too.
Yeah, I was like,
And I'm like holding my lightsaber. I'm like, just do it.
Yeah, and we did that, and then we bolted out of there because
we felt like we were being watched.
Yeah, it felt like we were being watched. Like from there, you said you felt like that throughout the whole ride back.
The whole ride back, I felt like
it stopped like after we passed the Dead Man's Curve, but it just was weird because like it felt like people were coming towards us almost, like the feeling of somebody trying to come towards you. Yeah, because the whole movement in the woods and stuff like that was just very, very bizarre, and it was actually ironic because a couple minutes before I heard those voices, there was a group of guys that pulled up and there was like, "Is this road haunted?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is," and they were talking about this like old church on the road, but there's no church. I said there's a house that's supposedly haunted. That's like,
wasn't there like a castle or something that used to be there?
Yes,
and they knocked it down.
Yes, there's a castle there, but that's like kind of far back in the woods, I believe. I don't think it's close to the road.
Yo, let's hike at night.
Oh God, no!
I will give you $500.
I'm not doing that.
Come on!
I'm not doing that. Not after all that stuff. No way.
I'll do it.
You can do it.
I get kidnapped. You know.
I'll watch from the sidelines. But yeah, it was freaky. It was just a freaky thing, and you know who knows, it could have been people or it could have been ghosts. You just don't know.
Only two options: people or ghosts.
Yeah, because it's known for its paranormal activity there. So
it is.
You just may never know.
I've had a couple other things happen on the road. I was with one of our other friends. We decided to just drive up the road. And there's always that story of the ghost cars that'll just be behind you and then disappear. And I'm like, how the hell does that happen? And then I saw that. So we were driving back up the road, and I saw a car coming towards us. If anyone hasn't been on Clinton Road, there's a lot of slight turnoffs, but there's always locked gates. So I saw this car coming towards us. I'm like, all right, there's a car. But then it goes up one of the areas where a locked gate. And it's not like it's a long like driveway or something. I've pointed out to you before. Yes. It's literally
like a trail
from the road 5 feet to the locked gate, maybe. So it's like, unless the thing smashed through the gate, which we would have heard.
Yeah, but you said there was no sound, right?
Nope. I just saw it and then gone.
And the lights turned off and everything like that.
Yep. Just went up that and gone.
Do you remember what type of vehicle it was, or was it?
It wasn't the truck that people usually see. It was just like a normal looking car.
There's a story of a 1988 Camaro that some girl crashed, and
was that like tailgate people or something? That's the
yes,
story?
Yeah, that or something along the lines of that. It's a lot of freaky stuff that happens there, and it's just a lot like all around the whole road. I mean, the road, for anyone that doesn't know, the road is actually about 10 miles long.
Very long road.
Yes.
Long, dark. There's only houses at the beginning and end. So in the middle, it's all just woods.
Like
no street lights, nothing.
Nothing. There's just flat out, just
straight
pure darkness.
Yep.
So you're just going through this, and the road is bumpy as hell too. You're going through a road that's just you're just going up and down because of how bumpy it is. I had a scary moment when I was on that road a few years back. There's a bridge there. It's called the Ghost Boy Bridge. So at that bridge, if you throw a quarter off the bridge, apparently the Ghost Boy, legend has it, the Ghost Boy throws it back at you.
Doesn't happen. I've done it many times.
Yeah.
Never had it happen.
There's also a story of how the Ghost Boy pushes you in the lake. I've heard that's also another story about that.
Haven't had that happen either.
No. But when I was going over this bridge, it was on the way back towards Route 23, and I hit this there's this giant pothole there. I didn't even know it was there. Smacked it with my car, and I thought my car was destroyed. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna be on Clinton Road with a blown tire.
That'd be awesome.
With a blown tire with no service. Because, mind you, there's also another thing I've heard from people that during the day there is service on the road, but at nighttime there isn't.
Past couple times we've gone up there, we've had service all the way through.
Sometimes. There's been some parts where it's been tough to get service.
Normally it's like after a little while in and no service until the end. But
even at the spot where we took the pictures, I had there was some parts like for a few minutes I did have service, and there were some parts I had nothing.
I didn't even look at my phone. Ted's always on his phone. I think I've said that before, so
Yeah.
of course he knows that.
So like it's just some parts where you're gonna have service, and some parts you don't. Especially if you're in the deep middle of it, you ain't getting nothing. But sometimes you can like it just
They must have put up another tower or something.
Could have.
It's gotten better.
Yeah, but it's it's a very interesting road. If anyone wants to go up on the road,
It's awesome.
it's an experience to say the least.
I want to go hiking at night.
He could do it. I won't. I'm not touching that.
You gotta touch it. You just gotta walk there.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You can do it. I'm good.
I'll do it.
But
You gonna let me do it alone?
you can have someone come with you. You can have someone come with you. I'm just not doing it.
Rude.
I'm just not doing it.
I do have one more story before we move on to other paranormal experiences we've had. One more thing from the road. This isn't paranormal, but this is just funny to me. So we had a big group that we went up there one night for whatever reason. We had 2 cars. So a couple of us walked over to that bridge where the ghost boy is supposed to be. Ted doesn't like ghosts.
No, I've had I've had my experiences with ghosts. It's not.
He doesn't like it, so he didn't.
Fun.
No, you got out of the car, but you just stood by the cars.
Yeah.
Was it you and someone else?
Nah, was it me and Missy? Maybe I can't tell. I can't remember who it was.
So you definitely would have. You wouldn't have stayed there alone. So there's definitely
No.
someone else there with you.
Yeah.
But I was with the other people. We went to the bridge, tossing coins off like ha ha ha, come on, ghost boy. And I don't know who had the idea or if it was me. Scare the crap out of Ted here. Whoever it was, we decided that I was gonna tag behind him, and that they were gonna run up to Ted, all like scared, be like, "Oh my God, we lost Timmy. He went off into the woods, and now we can't find him." So they run up. Their acting was great, by the way. They're screaming at you, "Ted, we can't find him. We can't find him. We gotta go." And Ted said, "Screw that guy. I'm leaving." He didn't even say, "Oh, where'd he go? We have to find him." No, he's like, "All right." He piled into the next car, and then I walked up from behind the car and scared the crap out of him.
Yeah, it was one of my first times at Clinton Road. We were in high school, and we've talked about going there, and I wasn't really a big fan of stopping there because I'm like, all right, I've heard too many stories on this road. Like, there's some interesting people there, and they scared the crap out of me, and it was an experience. And the next time we went up there, it was probably about a week later. We decided, I was like, all right, I'll get out of the car, walk around a little bit, and we stopped by the bridge again. So it was me and a few other people, and you were with somebody else in the woods. You guys went in the woods. We walked towards the bridge.
Me and Jake went hiking in the woods.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and we stopped at the bridge, but then we had a cop come by and tell us, to go.
Well, that was after you went back from the bridge back into my car,
yeah.
and then
Okay. And then we
asking if we were all right because there's no driver. There's just you guys sitting in the car.
Yeah. So
me and Jake off in the woods.
Yeah. So we went back or whatever, and then the cop came, told us to get you guys, and you guys came back. So next thing you know, as we're driving away, Lauren and Missy turned to us and go, "Yeah, we heard footsteps like right in between us," and I'm like, "Oh boy, this is something." And then you guys had the same thing too, where you guys had heard footsteps right in between you guys.
Yeah, well, we were walking in the woods. And, it was creepy. It's dark woods. I mean, of course it's going to be creepy, but me and him were just walking, whatever. Then neither of us said anything, but we heard movement, like, only a couple feet from us. So if it was an animal, we would have saw it. Unless it was, like, a little squirrel or something, but... Yeah, we heard movement, and it wasn't until we walked out back to the car, and they were like, "Yeah, you heard that?" We're like, yep, we both heard that. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just, you get these stories, it's, you gotta have an experience there to really know what it's really like there, because it's just...
Last night was creepy.
Yeah, that's when you knew, like, now like, that's when you know that the place is really just haunted. It really is. And, sometimes it could be your head, but once you really hear like what we heard last night, it's just like, wow, this is actually like this is crazy. Now we know why.
It was spooky.
Yeah.
It was very spooky. Especially those voices. Even if it wasn't voices, it was still
And
creepy.
it was a clear conversation, too. The guy was
Yeah, were they speaking English?
I'm going to say I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know. But all I heard was a conversation between two people, and it wasn't you guys, and it was in the woods. So I don't know. It was a weird... I couldn't tell what they were saying, and they were talking to each other, but I don't know. Don't know. But for other ghost stories, I have this one's kind of a big one. When I was 2 years old, my mom was pregnant, and she had unfortunately had a miscarriage, and there was a few nights when I was very young. This was, I think I was 2 years old. I think I said that, but there would be this person that would come down, and I'm not kidding about this when I say this. This little kid that looked kind of like me would come down, and he had like angel wings and all that, and would play with me, and I'd play with him, blah 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 blah, and then
the 2-year-old's like, oh hell yeah, dude, let's do this.
Yeah. So next thing you know, my mom, next morning, this happened a couple times, throughout the time when I lived in the other side of town. She goes to me. She's like, "What do you do? How'd you sleep?" Or asked me a question. I don't remember what exact question it was, but I was like, "Oh, I was playing with my brother," and I didn't not know. They didn't even know what the gender was. I think it, thinking could have been a boy, and saying I'm playing with my brother, and my brother Max, and that was going to be my brother's name.
You said the name?
Yeah, I said the name to my mom, and I'm like, yeah, my brother Max, and my mom, and the crazy part is that's what my mom was thinking of naming the kid, was Max. So it happened a few times after that as well, but then I guess that was it. But yeah, it was freaky. Like how me, a 2-year-old kid, knew that was my brother, and that would have been his name. Yeah.
And I got something, not similar, but how long ago was this? Probably almost exactly 10 years ago now. It's when my great-grandmother passed away. That was the first real death that I experienced in my family. So I took it hard, obviously. So always going over to my grandma's house, see her, So there's one night, it probably wasn't too long after she passed away, but I remember must have been having a nightmare, because I remember waking up feeling afraid. I think I was actually sweating, but I jumped up. Well, not jumped up, sat up really fast, and I just seen my peripheral vision. I looked to the left, and I see my great grandma just sitting there with her hand on me, making sure I'm okay, and then she disappeared. And I remember just sitting there being like, "What?"
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's just one of those things that's just you can't even explain.
It didn't make me feel creeped out. It made me feel comforted.
Yeah,
like she was looking after for me.
Yeah, I had an experience like that as well. The first death I experienced was with my nana, and this was a couple years ago. And I wake up at 4 in the morning. I guess everything going on. I woke up and there's a shadow on my wall that's looking down at me, and honestly it didn't scare me at first, because I'm like, it must be her looking at me and saying her last goodbye. I looked at it for another minute or two, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put the TV on. This is a little freaky. So I turned the TV on, and then the next night after that, the shadow was gone. So it's just one of those things that you can't really explain, but you knew, I knew that was her saying goodbye. It's just after a while, it's just yeah, no, this is not this.
It's yeah, okay, I miss you, but stop creeping me out now.
Yeah. So it was just it was very interesting. It was very interesting, to say the least.
I know you've more. I would say, I don't know, experience is the right word, but more experiences than I do, really. The next one I had is more recent. Well, probably about a year ago now. My mom passed away, a year and almost 3 months ago. So I remember having a bad day at work, just coming home. I was petting my little puppy, saying hi, and I see like a shadow in the kitchen, and then just like an overwhelming feeling of comfort just come out of nowhere. So it was almost like she knew I had a bad day, so she was there to comfort me.
Mm.
So it wasn't like, oh, there's a shadow, No, I just had that overwhelming feeling of, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Something like that. So that...
That's very interesting. Very interesting. I had another one. This was like a transpiring one over time as well. When I was about 3 or 4 years old, I would say stuff that happened to my mom when she was very little. My grandfather, and I'm saying this because this is crazy, but he spoke through me to her, and the thing was, and I would say things that I know a 3 or 4 year old shouldn't be saying.
Yeah, something that you wouldn't know.
And I would say, back in 1967, 67, and I would go into these details, and they were right details of what they did. Saying, oh, they went to Carolina. How would I know? A 3 or 4 year old little kid would know. Oh yeah, they did that in Carolina. How would I know that? My grandfather spoke through me to her, and the crazy, I'm named after my grandfather, so it could have been, one of those ordeals that I don't know how that happened, but that's the one other thing that's so unexplainable is that he spoke through me to her and told her all these memories.
Stuff that you're obviously not going to know.
How would I know?
As a, what'd you say, you were 4?
Yeah, like 3, 4 years old. A lot of the paranormal stuff happened to me when I was very young. So it kind of stuck with me, and that's why...
Well, that's always what's been said, is like the younger, you're more susceptible, if that's the right word, to, seeing this kind of thing.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that happened to me was very young, and that's why to this day... Even when I first got on the Clinton Road, I was nerve wracking because I had like past experiences with paranormal activity, so I'm just like very sensitive to it, so I just didn't want to but those guys were
I'm thinking of the time I told that story on here.
Where you guys scared the crap out of me, and I'm like this is just not it, man. You guys
all I
are
was
toying
doing
with
was
it.
looking at you through the rearview mirror.
Yeah, so I had experiences with that, and then now with the experience with Clinton Road. At first, the thing was, it didn't really scare me at first because I'm like, I hear voices, whatever. And I was surprised myself, I wasn't as scared as I thought I was going to be.
So you, especially. Just the one time I was looking at you, you were freaking out. So I actually told you, I think I'm like, Ted, I'm proud of you. You didn't, piss your pants.
No, the thing, and I was surprised, I surprised myself with it. But when I heard the movement in the woods behind me and to the right, that's when I was like, okay, we got to go. That's...
I'll post that video on Instagram for you guys to see. So follow us, TnT.pod.
Yes, which you guys will see my reaction to when I heard the movement. You'll see my head literally jerk.
Yeah, we were listening to it last night. You can't hear it in the video, but you just see our reaction.
Yeah.
And Ted jumps. I'm like, Ted, just go.
Yeah. So, it's yeah. Like I said,
Zoink Scoop, we got to get out of here.
Yeah. So like I said, yes, you can travel on the road, but once you guys stop and stay there for an extended period of time,
we were there for an hour.
For about an hour or so.
The most we've stopped and walked on the road might have been 10-15 minutes.
But we stayed there for about an hour.
The longer we were there, the less welcome I felt.
Yeah. The more I felt people it wasn't, it didn't really feel like people. It felt like spirits. It didn't really feel like a person was coming.
Felt a weird juju.
Yeah, it felt like someone, some spirit was watching us. Spirit, not just one, but a few. A few spirits just coming towards us very slowly. Because it felt like that.
It kind of felt like that.
Because I went...
At the end, it felt like they were just about to come out of the forest.
Yeah. So the thing was...
It's probably just us in our heads. Gotta be objective.
You know, the thing is, though, is
objective.
you know, when we first got there, when we were doing the pictures initially, I kept hearing stuff behind me more towards the trail. I kept hearing like it was movement. It was more like a movement, but it wasn't any wind. It was just like moving in the woods. So I'm like thinking to myself, like I'm not like trying to like say, oh, it was a person or it was an animal. Like I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's just an animal.
See, when we were hearing that whispers, I had my camera in my hand. I should have started recording.
Yeah.
I really should have.
It just was bizarre. Like it's just so unexplainable. You can't really explain this stuff because it's just a thing where you have to experience it on your own. You can't really look at through the lenses of like YouTube or something because you know, sometimes they fickle with that stuff. But once you have
there's all these paranormal shows where it's they heard a knock. It's someone over there knocking. There's somebody at the door.
Yeah. You just, like I said, you just have to experience something there just to know how haunted that place really is.
Which it is.
And it's one of, I don't know if it's the most haunted road in America, but it is really high up there.
Definitely is.
You know, there's actually another road. We haven't gone there, but I've heard stories about it. It's called, and it's kind of funny, the name of it. It's called Shades of Death Road.
Where is that? I want to go
That's
there.
Down, like, by Route 78.
Oh, okay.
In Warren County.
Another place I want to go. We need to go to the Gates of Hell. I really want to go there.
So for anyone that does not know the Gates of Hell,
in Clifton.
That's
right?
in Clifton. Yes,
Yeah.
It's in Clifton, New Jersey. It's known for its satanic rituals inside the sewer. I think it's a sewer, right?
Yeah, it's like a sewer tract.
It's like a sewer tract. There's a little story about this person. I don't want to say a person, but like this spirit that like guards the Gates of Hell. I think his name is Mike.
Mike seems like a cool guy.
So I think that's his name.
Hang out with him sometime.
You can. I'm good. He's a very guarded person, so I don't know.
That was clever. That was clever.
He's a very guarded person, so I don't know if I want to deal with him. So
that was good. I'm sorry, it's so stupid, but that got me.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to mess with him. But you know, there's a lot of stuff that are written inside the sewer.
Yeah,
that
graffiti.
Sewer. It's a lot of the graffiti. But there's been a lot of experiences where people have gone in and felt a rush of cold air like as soon as they've gone in. But I have not experienced it myself. I've just heard a few stories about it.
Maybe this summer we'll go. We'll bring the camera.
Oh my god.
We'll become the newest found footage film.
Oh god. No, I don't know.
Let's do it. We're going.
I don't know about that.
Say yes to it. We're on the podcast. You have to say yes.
I don't know. We'll leave that to 50-50. We'll leave it as a poll. Should I go? We'll leave it as a poll.
Stay or should I go now?
Yeah. We'll let the viewers decide. Who?
They say yes. I just talked to them through the ghost dimension. They said yes.
No, they didn't. They didn't say. They're still debating.
You're not in my head. You don't know.
They're debating. I know you guys are still debating on it. So.
No, they said yes.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I really don't. I don't know. But that's up to you guys. We'll put a poll out there and say should Ted go to the Gates of Hell with Tim?
Yes.
I hope you guys say no.
Yes.
But I know you guys will probably say yes because you guys will probably say yes because that's just you guys. So
yes. Yes.
Okay. I got it. But yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in New Jersey that's just bizarre, like as known as the Devil's Tree as well, where one of our friends decided to take a number one on it, and after
he pissed on the haunted tree.
He took a number one on the tree, and then as he was driving, his brakes almost gave out. So, but that was actually a known story where apparently if you take a number one on the tree,
you can say P.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Number one.
Yeah, taking a number one, and then apparently legend has it your brakes don't work. For like they mess with your brakes, so that happened to him.
That was so funny. We're like this guy.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff in New Jersey that's very bizarre, and you know there's actually a site for it for anyone that doesn't know. WeirdNJ.com. There's a lot of cool stuff that they put on there.
You can find more stuff on Clinton Road.
Yeah, a lot more stuff on Clinton Road.
And they did make a movie about Clinton Road.
They did. They did make a movie on it. I think it's out right now.
Yeah,
I have not watched it, but
who is in it?
I can't remember. It was a long time since I.
No, there's
seen
like
the
a really
trailer.
known guy that's in it. I don't know. I can't think of
Yeah,
it.
but yeah, there was a little movie about that. I just don't know about it too much. I've seen a trailer for it, but not really.
No, I heard it was horrible anyway.
Yeah, probably wasn't accurate or something.
Yeah. Alrighty. With that said, we will leave it off here. I'm sure we'll do a part 2 or some of this, and definitely check out our Instagram, tnt.pod. I'll post
the poll.
Well, the video,
the poll will be on there.
The video of what happened there in the woods. Yeah. So that said, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Vote no on the poll, by the way.
Oh yes.
Vote no.
Yes.
Peace, guys.
See ya.